And so, one of the things that happened when Shaun and I first got together was, he was really focused on doing off-market marketing, right?
Mhm.
What most people do when they start wholesaling. Now, this discussion we're going to have is we're going to talk about wholesaling, but this applies to anything that you're doing in your business. The platform we're going to show you tonight is actually what I like to call exit strategy agnostic. It doesn't matter what your exit strategy is. It's going to allow you to be able to apply the reverse REI strategy to that and make it better overall. But again, it has to do with leveraging data and technology to do that. And so many years ago, when we first started Privy, we were trying to solve a lot of the same problems that you're facing in your business right now, like not be able to get consistent deal flow, or you're spending money on ineffective and expensive marketing campaigns. Maybe you're writing a bunch of offers on properties, but you just can't seem to win. Like somebody's always beating you out, and you just never know, what it was about your offer. Was it the price? Was it the terms? Was there something else? Or maybe you're getting a lead to come in, but you just can't make the numbers work. Like you can't figure out what the after repair value is. You're looking at the comps, and it doesn't seem like there's enough data there to be able to determine what your offer should be or what the ARV is. Or maybe you are wholesaling, you've got a list full of people who say they're buyers, but none of them want your deals. Like they won't take action, and you're doing the business, you're just not getting the results that you want. And again, most of us here are beginners, and beginners doesn't mean that you haven't been doing it for a while. It can mean that, but it often means that you've been doing it for a while, but you just haven't gotten the deals done, right? Maybe you're doing the things you think you should be doing. Now, we actually have a patent pending on the technology I'm going to show you tonight, but it's based off of some proven business strategies, and one of them is begin with the end in mind. If you've ever read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, the second habit is to begin with the end in mind. That means that you don't set down a path and go down that path until you've already thought where your destination is, and then you reverse engineer it. So in this business, that has to do with like knowing where you're going to look for deals. Don't go look in an area for deals if all of the things that are needed to create a deal aren't present. And if you do that one small thing, if you take away one thing from tonight, that's what I think you should take with you. And I'm going to show you the best way to do it, but there's other ways. And mostly if it's a philosophy, then it is something that you have to do every single day with data. But with data, it's much easier to do. So basically what this allows you to do is to look for deals where the comps are going to be present to be able to prove ARV. You're going to be able to build a cash buyers list of people who are taking action today. You're going to be able to find investor-focused real estate agents who know how to work with investors, not agents who are traditionally working with just people who want to buy houses and live with them. Everybody wants to work with investors, and most agents will say they work with investors, but the fact of the matter is that most of them don't. And if they've done it once or twice, that doesn't make them an expert, right? You want to be with investor-focused agents. And what this ultimately allows you to do is actually do business outside your target market. So Shaun, you're in the Atlanta market, which actually happens to be a fairly strong market. It's based off the data. Have you operated in any other markets virtually?
100%, 100%, brother. We are, my company is called Nationwide Real Estate Mastery. So tools such as Privy allow me to operate just like that nationwide, wherever the deals make sense. Of course, we have markets that we focus on, but yeah, being able to leverage this data has allowed us to go into North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, Texas. Well, some of my students are in Texas, not so much myself, but yeah, it get Ohio. Uh, Man, we're all over. We're all over making some noise out there.
And that's great. And many times, again, people get lured into trying to do deals in their own market. And there was, what a lot of the quote unquote gurus would teach people is like, yeah, just start in your own backyard, so you can learn the business. And what that basically means is you're looking for deals based off of convenience or what's comfortable or what's familiar, which again isn't the best way to do it. You should be looking where the ingredients are to put together deals. Now, before we jump in and I show you where those best areas are to invest, this is the Privy platform. So you can access it from any device that has an internet connection. You can look for deals based off of whether they're on market, off market. We've got off market leads like foreclosures and absentee owners and vacancies and tired landlords. We have that in the system too. But what makes us different than all the other platforms out there is we're the only one that's going and negotiating direct to MLS data contracts so that you can get the best data available, the same data that agents use and appraisers use in their business. But it isn't the MLS, it's the raw data. So we basically get that raw data in a feed, and we run algorithms against it and make it useful and actionable for real estate investing type strategies like wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, short-term rentals, and the like. Where you see the blue on the map is where we've already negotiated those direct to MLS data contracts. It's over 80 markets now. And we've got, I was just looking at our board, we've got another 20 to 30 that are in some state of like negotiation or compliance or in development. So this map is going to be constantly evolving, and we're soon going to have about 90% coverage of all the United States populated areas. Some areas we may not go and get direct to MLS because it's rural, or there just isn't enough activity there for it to be worth the investment from our part. But this map will continually change and evolve. And we talked about your market. Over here at Atlanta, there's 2 MLSs there. I'm from Colorado. We've got RE Colorado. That was our very first market that we got almost 10 years ago. But we also have data in non-disclosure states like Oklahoma and Texas. So that's a huge advantage when you're trying to determine, sold prices and actually what's happening there with real-time data. Again, the same data that agents and appraisers use. But we wanted to make this so much more simple than just looking at spreadsheets or some graph and trying to figure out where the best areas are. And we made it visual. So right here at the top, where we've got these easy buttons, if we were to click this fix and flip button, that's now going to plot on the map where all the investor activity is nationwide. So this is showing us where all the deals have been done in the last 12 months. And so we can visually see with our own eyes where we should be going. This is essentially a heat map. So wherever you see higher numbers with larger circles is where the higher investor activity is. So you don't want to be going and looking for deals in South Dakota. If you live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you're basically going to have to get out of the business if you're not willing to look other places. And so wherever you don't see that data. Now, this is obvious, right? Because there's nothing going on here. But what about if I were to move into a different market? Well, now we're looking at the numbers. So I actually happen to be sitting in St. Louis right now because there's been close to 2,500 deals in the last 12 months. Look at Chicago, 4,500. Milwaukee, that's one of our newer direct to MLS markets. That's got over 2,200. Shaun mentioned Ohio. Cleveland has over 2,000. That's the hottest city in all of Ohio. We just launched major parts of Michigan. Detroit is going to be a major market that I think that people should consider. Kansas City. Look at Oklahoma City. Dallas has got a lot of activity down there. It's the Dallas-Fort Worth area. As you start to come over here to the East Coast, you're going to see markets like Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got over 5,000. Baltimore is pretty active. Washington, D.C., North Carolina in the Charlotte area, popping. Jacksonville's got 2,300. The hottest area in all of Florida is the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. So there's a lot going on down there too. And so,
guys, look at that opportunity down there. That is huge.
Huge. I mean, that's close to you, man. I mean, you could actually literally just drive down there for a weekend and go and look around. Maybe you don't want to go all the way to Atlanta, but you might stop off in Jacksonville.
Yeah, go all the way down to Tampa, see some family, go sit on the beach down in Clearwater. Yay.
Yeah. Now, so let's drill down a little bit more here, because now we're just kind of seeing like 20,000 foot view. So let's drill down into the Dallas market, because this is a good illustration of what the optimal situation is, because we may not have direct to MLS data where you live. And again, you may actually be in a hot area where we don't have direct to MLS data. So what I'm going to suggest is put yourself in the best position to succeed. Where I think you'll have the best position to succeed is you're in a direct to MLS data market, so you have the best data that's available. You are in an area that has high investor activity, and if you can be your own boots on the ground, then that gives you another advantage. there, but you don't have to be. Again, before I came out to St. Louis to do some deals, I was just wholesaling virtually directly from my computer. I didn't even see a bunch of the deals that I was involved in and made money on, and they were all virtual and they were all on market. That's another thing that a myth I want to get rid of today is that you can't get deals on the off, from the MLS. And from the data that we're finding, it's actually the majority of deals, anywhere from between 55 to 70% of all deals come from the MLS. So if you're ignoring MLS as a significant source of deal flow for your business, you're missing out on the majority of the stuff. Now, Shaun, you were focused on off market for many, many years, and you still do. But like, what's your opinion about the on market versus off market discussion?
I agree with what you're saying 100%. Because the data back in the day, like Benson's saying, the data wasn't available to everyone. So people had to adapt based upon the tools that they had readily available. Everyone didn't have a realtor, sister, or husband or wife that they could have access, get MLS access. So a lot of folks just felt that they didn't have the information, and they felt like if it was on the MLS, then what makes it a deal? How can I get this and make it attractive to a cash buyer? And we're going to go into that later on, but my opinion totally shifted once I started to see technology out there that helped me be in the driver's seat, so to speak, versus me just not knowing what to look for or how to look for it, and how to make it advantageous once I gathered that data. So off market is great. I'll never stop doing off market, and on market is just as great. Just like Benson said, we want to know how to find both.
Yep. And what we're up to this point, and at some point I'm going to start looking for deals. It's going to be here in a couple minutes if you're getting antsy. But what's important about this process is this can teach us what a deal is so that we can identify it when it's there. If you don't do your research and find out what investors are already doing, then you won't know what a deal is. And so if you are doing an off-market strategy, then you want to look at the ones that closed recently to figure out what that deal is. And then if you want to go ahead and pull lists from Privy, like foreclosures or absentee owners or vacancies, you can do that. We give you up to 10,000 per month. But if you do the reverse REI strategy and you pull lists from areas like this right in here, where all this high investor activity is, then you're going to have a higher chance of having properties that were flipped as part of your comp set. And that's going to make it easier for you to be able to identify the deals. So let me go ahead and just refresh here. My internet is going a little slow tonight.
And guys, there's basically like 4 pillars to wholesaling, and that's picking a market, finding buyers, finding sellers, and then the acquisitions piece. So what we're doing right now, guys, is picking the market. And data, again, we're not going off of emotions, we're going off of data. So remember those 4 pillars, guys, so that you can understand what the process is when you're trying to move through our business here. And we're picking the market now.
Yep, picking a market, and you don't have to do just one market. If you're newer, you should focus for a little while until you get some momentum and you figure out kind of how things are set up here, and what a deal is, and you've done your research. Then potentially go out and start to look at some other areas. But right here, as I'm zooming in here, right, you can see that there's these numbers, and I zoom in, and then these clusters break up, and then you can see all the individual transactions that comprise that. So every one of these is a flip. Right. So you can see that if you were going to go and do some off market type stuff, like if you were going to do bandit signs, or if you were going to drive for dollars, like these are the neighborhoods you would want to be in. That way, if you come across a quote unquote motivated seller, you're going to have a higher chance of having these flipped properties as comps. And then a lot of those problems that we were going through earlier on that checklist get solved. Like you can't find data to prove ARV. You don't have any buyers. Like every one of these people that flipped, those are all buyers. Investor focused agents, every agent you can see here on every one of these properties that was flipped. Like if we open up this one right here, this one just closed a couple days ago. This report right here is called a live comparative market analysis. So this is what our system is actually building for every single property in the United States 24/7, and it updates live. Right here, you can see this MLS tag. So it came directly from MLS. You can see the agent. So if you want to work with an investor focused agent, then you want to look at these closed flips, because investors, flippers, they won't just work with anybody. Like you got to earn their business. And so if you see somebody here like Carol, she likely has worked with investors before, and that's who you want to work with too. So you can see the photos, you can see the sold price. If this was another platform like one of our competitors that doesn't have direct to MLS, you may not see this price. You certainly won't have any photos, and the data would be delayed maybe weeks or months.
Especially not for Texas.
Especially not for Texas. Yep. So if we scroll down here, this right down here is the comparable section. So, as an agent being in the business for 20 years, if I was to go and pull comps on a house, using my own MLS access, it could take me an hour or two to properly comp out one property. I can only imagine what you feel like not being as experienced, not being a licensed agent, not having access to direct MLS. That's why we have this automated comping algorithm that does it for you. And the same process and philosophies that I use as an agent and that appraisers use are all baked into the algorithm. And it's all editable, right? Like we could actually change the comp zone. So like if we knew we couldn't cross this Corneth Street, because that's like a major cutoff and this is a private gated community, then we can redraw the comp zone and we can make it relevant for where we're at. What we do use is a half a mile from the center of where the property is located to the edge, and that's the comp zone. But sometimes you want to adjust it, and then you can delete these two, and it all changes on the fly, and then it saves automatically into it. And then if we come down even further, then we get the before and after data on the deal itself. So this is one of the things that a lot of our people love about Privy is because we don't just have the most up-to-date data, we also have historical data. So we can put side by side the deal and the details about it. So this house was purchased directly from the seller, right? Somebody went and marketed. Maybe they knocked on their door, they did cold calling or skip tracing or ringless voicemail or text blasts. They got this thing 62% of the ARV. 62%. Now, is that good? Is that bad? I see it's all over the board, but what we're doing is we're learning what a deal is, and we're learning what the local market realities are. And so there are flippers that are in this neighborhood that are spending money to get deals at 62%. They bought it for 240, sold it for 390. Now, Shaun, would you take a deal after going and spending money on marketing at 62% in Atlanta, or would you need to get it lower than that?
I would take it for this is guys, you got to remember this is ARV. This is of the ARV at the repaired value. So I'd want it just a little bit lower, but I'd take it. I'd take it for this number because there's different exit strategies that we could use. We don't have to just wholesale. So you don't have to think of it from, oh, I've got to get a 40, 35, 40%, no, a 70 to 75% discount or 65. You don't have to do that, guys. You can find deals just like this and make money off them, just like this person did. They found this property. Let's say if they would have passed this over because they were like, hey, this doesn't make sense. They wouldn't have made that spread. What was it? 290 sold for 340.
Yeah, they grossed 150,000 here. So gross,
Wow.
you guys, means that doesn't take out any of their costs. So whatever their construction costs were, realtor fees, financing fees would come out of that 149, and then whatever's left over is their net profit. But that data doesn't live anywhere publicly where we can get access to it. That would be on their own books. But whenever we measure percentage of ARV anyway, it's always gross. So typically, before the downturn, people wanted to be in the 65 to 70% of ARV range. If you can get a deal below that, then the margin there, the 35% or so, or to 60 to 40%, could include your profit, your construction costs, your realtor fees, and everybody would still make money. But that's changed a little bit since the market's changed. And that's why the data is so important, is you want to be able to keep your finger on the pulse of the market and stay ahead of it and talk to the buyers, right? So BT Construction is the flipper on this. They're the flipper, they're their buyer. That's who you would put on your buyers list. And if you are wholesaling, or if you're an agent even, you want these people. You need to talk to these people because they're the ones that are out there doing it. And in a wholesale space, I mean, in the olden days, Shaun, like how do you build a buyer's list? Like, do you meet them at the RIA, Facebook?
Guys, RIA groups, Facebooks, auctions. I mean, there's a ton of physical ways to go out and find buyers, guys. But I know exactly what Benson is going to allude to right now. And guys, again, remember there's 4 pillars of this, and we've knocked out one pick in the market, and now we're talking about 2. Because guys, if we're able to find these agents that, like, they're investor friendly, and we say, hey, you know, do you think your client would be looking for some more of these type of deals? What do you think they're going to say? Absolutely, because they're going to look like a hero, and you're going to be able to bring them deals. So you can build a nice buyers list with real activity of recent buyers. Like, you don't have to just say, I hope that these guys will still buy again. You're seeing exactly what they buy. You know what their buy box is almost. So this data is huge, guys.
You're right about the buy box, right? So BT Construction, we know they're currently buying. They just closed the deal. That means they're probably, likely looking. And we know that they're willing to buy a property in Dallas, Texas, 75216. They're willing to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,088 square foot house. So we have a sense of what their buying criteria is, or their buy box, like Shaun said. And that's half the battle. And then all we would do is just find them. So like, I might do a quick Google search. You can use a skip tracing service. You can export this buyer's data into a CSV file and go in bulk, skip trace it and get contact information. But what I do when I go to a new market is I like to actually come in and do a little bit of research. BT Construction, that's a different company. Sometimes you can find them with a Google search. Sometimes you can't. But
sometimes you can go into the state website as well, like with the gov.gov site where people register LLCs, and you can find it there as well if it's in that local state. So there's a number of ways you guys could find it. So make sure you don't let anything discourage you. We're just showing you quick, easy ways to do this, guys. You can't let anything stop you. There it is. So, boom, BT
Dallas, Texas, there's their phone number. So sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you have to go and take the company information, figure out who the registered agent is, and then use a tool like True People Search, which is a free skip tracing service. And you just enter the agent name and then the city and state where the company's registered, and then it'll pull emails and phone numbers. This is all free. Yes, you don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money on skip tracing. You can literally do this at no cost right from your computer, and you can build your buyers list that way. Because once you build your buyers list, then you can go and start looking for deals, right? That's the second pillar, right, Shaun, is building the buyers list and the players, right? Maybe it's agents as well. If you weren't able to find that buyer, you might call Carol Holmes, just like Shaun said, and talk to him and say, hey, listen, is your client looking for more deals? Coming across some properties in that area, and I'd love to send them some way. And we'll make sure we take care of you too. We'll work in some sort of a fee for yourself. And then of course, if they do a flip, you'll be able to list it on the back end and make money there too. So you create a win-win for everyone.
Yep. People want to work with folks that are creative. So you have the tools to be creative. This allows you to be creative because it gives you the tools to do
that. Let's say you were, over here and you were searching for deals and you came across a house, you want to pull comps. You can just enter the address right in here to the search bar, and that will allow you to build a comparative market analysis. It actually happens automatically. You can do that for any property nationwide. It taps into our database and it will pull comps for you. And then the next thing is are there deals here that we can buy today? So again, if you're going to pull a list, you're going to pull lists for these specific areas. So you're going to sample the zip codes. That way you're not spending money on lists that you're pulling. They're in low investor activity areas where the data is not present to be able to prove ARV and get buyers and all the other ingredients. So you're going to pull in like 75208. There's going to be probably a handful of zip codes over here, 75211. If you're going to pull lists from some other places. Now, again, for Privy, it's free. It's all part of the platform, right? You can pull them right here. But we don't have skip tracing natively inside of Privy. There's tons of companies out there that do it. It's widely available.
100%.
So the part of our system that's patent pending is this reverse REI strategy. So once you have all this on the map, and you've clicked this button right here shows up. It says find similar active deals. So what Privy does is it takes all of these closed deals and it uses those as a model for what a successful deal looks like, and it reverse engineers it and it searches property that you can buy today. So if I click that one button, Privy's going in and it's running comps on all these houses, right? So all these houses here, we've found data that says that there are deals here. So let's take a look at a couple of these. So here's a house you can get it for 180 grand. This just came on the market. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. If we come down to the comparables here, The reason why we flag this property as a deal is because it's right here for 180 and we have these blue comps around them. And the blue ones are the ones that say this thing has margins. So this house right here was just sold for 305. This house was fixed and flipped and it's for sale for 312. It hasn't sold yet. This one was fixed and flipped and sold for 270. That would put it at 67%, 57, 50%. So there's data here that says this property has a percentage of ARV that's certainly lower than 70%, but probably closer to 60% with all of this data. And because we searched in a high investor activity area, we have comps that were flipped, which is the whole goal of that. And so Shaun, from a wholesale perspective, when you're trying to prove after repair value, what's the easiest way to do that?
With data.
Well,
You
with
need
flipped
data.
properties, right? Like,
Exactly, with flip properties.
and so when you see this, you can open up a house like this on Tyler, and then you can look at the house and be like, okay, cool, that's a flip. It's now when I'm going in, let's say I wrote an offer on that other property and I got it under contract, I can use these flipped properties to prove to my buyer, or if I'm doing my own deals, I'm the flipper and I don't want to use the wholesaler, I can go directly now. But I got to prove to somebody what the value is, and that somebody is an appraiser, right?
Yep.
The appraisers needs to see these flipped properties. And so if you go and you were in an area that, let's say you were a flipper, and you go and you do the best flip you've ever done, when they go and they pull comps on that house, and if the only houses around you are unrenovated homes, they have to use unrenovated homes to try to show the value. So guess what happens? All your profit, it evaporates because the data isn't there to support after repair value. They have to use unrenovated homes to prove value, which is why you can't find deals in areas where flips don't exist. The only way that happens is if you really lowball people and you submit offers that are ridiculously low, which is why most people don't make it in the business, because they're out there submitting lowball offers that have literally no chance of being accepted, and they get cussed out and they get people tell them to leave and they get yelled at on the phone. But if you look in high investor activity areas, you can literally offer 20 to 30% more on your property for the simple fact that you got renovated comps as part of the comp set. Those are the problems that we're solving for you.
Guys, are you taking notes, man? This stuff is very, very important. This is the stuff that separates how you excel your business, or how you move at a snail's pace. Even as Benson scrolled down, I was hoping he would do that, because as you saw there were before pictures and after pictures. He did touch on that earlier, but guys, that is huge information. That's huge. Let's say that you wanted to pick this up. It lets you know exactly what needs to be done in this area. What are they doing? What kind of material are they using? What are they doing to the insides? Are they using marble? Are they granite? Whatever it is, you're getting it right here, guys. This data is data is king or queen if you're a lady out there. So yes, you need that data. I didn't want to brush over that piece. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood how huge this was, and why we're going over this piece of it and how it could be advantageous to you.
And then the flipper on this house was Metroplex Casas. So Metroplex is a flipper in this area that just flipped a house that's just like the one that we're getting ready to write an offer on. So this house fits Metroplex's buy box for the simple fact that their house is a comp of ours. So you can see how the data starts to connect all for you, and it's just aligning everything. Like, it's all here. You just have to execute. And what would be the next step here? Well, you would just forward this property. Well, two things. You could contact Juanita Couch, the listing agent, and write an offer directly to the listing agent. Or what I do, or what I did when I was writing offers here virtually from Denver to St. Louis, is I would just share this with my agent that I found on Privy. Her name's Nika. And I would just send this to her, and I'd be like, hey, Nika, I think the ARV in this house is right around, 300,000. Could you take a look at my comps? If it looks solid, let's write an offer, and we'll offer, 165 grand, 30-day close, 10-day inspection period, $1,000 earnest money deposit, 3-day earnest money deposit deadline. And then she handles it all. Like, it's literally that simple. And there's all kinds of deals in here, you guys, that you could write offers on every single day. Now, the next step here is to just click filter and then click save search, give the search a name, choose how often you want the updates. I get updates every hour. And Privy will literally just email me properties all day, as long as they exist. that match my deal criteria.
Email you guys all day, guys, up to the hour, just like he said. Amazing, amazing. If you don't get on with technology, you're just gonna get left behind. It's no different than the internet coming out a long time ago, and some people are like, oh, I don't believe in the internet, or that's not for me, that's for someone else. Guys, everyone's got the internet now at the palm of their hands, pretty much. How many people said, oh, cell phone, I just needed to dial numbers? Yeah, right.
Absolutely. So another area that I said was hot was Chicago, right? So all I did was I just changed the city, and now we're looking in the Chicago market. And then here's a property that was automatically found. The algorithm does all the heavy lifting for you. The cool thing about doing this, you guys, is let's say there was 100 new listings in Chicago tomorrow, maybe only 5 of those are deals, but you have to analyze all 100 properties to find the 5 that are. What Privy does is it gets rid of all of the ones that have no data that says it's a deal right out of the gate. So we eliminate 95 of the 100, and then we show you the 5 that are, so you can focus in on those, because most of you aren't doing this full time. You don't have time to go and run comps on 100 properties to find the 5. So what you end up doing is probably just running comps on a few of them, not finding a deal, and then you just do it again the next day. And maybe you find you stumble into a deal. You're not going to be able to build a business around that. You need consistency. Like, check out this property. It's for sale for $115,000. The closest sold flip to this house went for $299,000. $299,000. So this percentage of ARV is going to be anywhere from 38 to 54% of the ARV. And we open up this house right here. We know exactly what we need to do to our house when it comes to the construction, because this house is right down the street from ours, and this is the blueprint. So if I go and I get that house under contract for that right here for 115, 38%. That's a slam dunk deal.
That's a slam dunk.
Home run. Dunk. Home run. What other sports analogies can we use?
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Goal.
But look at this, you guys. Look at all these flipped comps. Again, this is the reverse REI strategy in action. By reversing the whole process, we found an unrenovated home that's next to a renovated home that's a comp that turns the unrenovated home into a deal. It's really that simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. If I was going to do off market, this is where I would send my mailing campaign. But you guys, once you start to have a little bit of a taste of success doing on market deals, you won't do off market deals anymore. Why go and spend $10,000 on a mailing campaign that might yield some leads when I can just find properties every single day, just like this? Privy finds them for you and emails them to you, already pre-comped out, ready to go. All you have to do is just come in there and verify that, you know, the comps aren't across a major highway, or that, you know, your house is, you know, inland and all the other comps are on the ocean. Like those little things you have to give your own eyeballs with. But this here is like, they're all here. All these blue ones are the ones that are supporting this. This house right here, it's for sale for $105,000. The closest sold flip just went for $275,000 on Calumet. So this house at asking price is at 38% of the ARV. 38%, absolutely ridiculous. And we saw in Dallas that one person did an off-market deal. They got it at what, like, was it 62%? This is 38%.
Yeah, that was like 62
on the MLS. You don't have to market. You don't have to skip trace. You don't have to cold call. You don't have to do all that uncomfortable work. You're just literally writing offers. I got some power users of ours that are out of Tampa. Mahmoud, he's writing about 20 to 30 offers a day. And he closed 15 deals this month that he found on Privy. 15.
Wow.
And in the last year, him and his partner, John Galan, they've done over $600,000 in assignment fees from properties they found doing the exact same process that I'm showing you right now.
Nice.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to share this one with you guys so you can go and check it out. I'm going to put that in the chat. And for those of you that are asking questions, we're going to answer questions here in a moment. I just want to get through this.
Getting you guys those 5 properties, because guys, get on these properties that Benson's throwing out there. They're opportunities, as you can see. These aren't fake opportunities. We're not just saying, hey, we think this might be something. No, we're showing you the numbers so that you have the confidence to know that you need to get out there and take some action.
Yep. And on that link I just sent to you guys, the listing agent's name is on there. So you can literally write an offer, and you don't have to be in Chicago to do these deals. Somebody always tells me, like, Chicago, isn't it really dangerous? Well, you saw all the flips that were here, right? Like, people are flipping, people are buying these houses.
Mhm.
And you know what? You don't have to live in that neighborhood if you're wholesaling, right? You could literally just find it and give it to somebody there who wants to move there. Like, it isn't up to you to decide whether or not how an area is, you know, safe or unsafe, or there's too much crime, or the walking score. All that matters is if there are buyers and there's people flipping. That's what you need. The economics of it, whether there's a new Amazon depot, or whether unemployment's up or down, or all that stuff is
Mhm.
irrelevant when you use this strategy. It's the comps that matter. That's all you need to know, is if the
That's all
comps
you
are
need.
solid.
That's all you need.
Shaun, there was several markets there. What's another market I should look at? Do you remember where they were located?
I saw a lot of folks in Tampa. I saw Tampa come up a couple of times.
All
A
right,
few
let's look at
times, I definitely
Tampa.
noticed that one.
All right, we'll look at Tampa here. Let's see what we got. All right. So this one's 165 grand. Oh, somebody was just asking about Privy Preferred. That's
Yeah.
this tag right here. That's Privy Preferred. So when we flag a property as a deal, the first thing is the numbers have to match. So I just ran, actually, let me check something real quick. Okay, so let me adjust the filter on this, because the standard filter is set to 75% or lower, but it's all adjustable. So if after you've done your research and you realize that you need to be, below a certain percentage because you saw the activity, you did your local market research, you figured out what a deal was, and maybe you verified that by talking to the buyers, then you can adjust this based off of your definition of what a deal is and your definition of what your buyers are telling you. So run this search again. It adjusts it for us. So this house here is for sale for 165. They own it free and clear. It says cash buyer. It's owned by an LLC. So we know they're not going to be emotionally driven when the negotiation process. We're looking at the photos, needs a bunch of work. It's Privy Preferred. So Privy Preferred means that there are comps there that say it's a deal. Remember, lower than 60%. And at least one of those comps needs to be flipped for it to be Privy Preferred. And we actually have 2 houses that were flipped. So that's what Privy Preferred is. Like, remember earlier, I told you, you literally can't prove after repair value if you don't have renovated comps. So when we have a renovated comp and the numbers match our deal criteria, we put that seal on there, because that elevates the quality of this deal, because you have more of the ingredients there to prove that it's going to be a deal to the end buyer. So this house at 165, Shaun, is about 50% of the ARV.
Nice.
That's at asking price. That's not even without even negotiating a lower price.
At asking, guys. At asking. How many of you would have just walked away or not even considered that as a deal without having this data? I'm pretty sure like 99% of you, because it's nothing against you. It's just human nature. You don't know what you don't know.
Yep, the data finds these for you, right? So I'm going to share this one with the group too. Write an offer on this thing. You don't have to be in Tampa to do this deal.
Nope.
You can do it all virtually, and the agent's info is on that. It's Danielle Feynman. Daniel's going to get a bunch of calls. Watch. He's going to be like, well, how come all these people are calling me? What the heck's going on? What is this darn Privy thing people are talking about?
This guy Shaun and Benson sent us here.
You guys, that one is really good. Like, everything's right in here. It's all really close. You got this nice little comp set. We got 2 flipped comps. They're all, we match everything up. So the comping algorithm is about a 15% tolerance on the square feet. We match up stories, similar bedrooms and bathrooms and lot size. You guys, it is that simple. Again, then I would just save the search, and that would be it. I would just get updates. Here's another one at 145,000. Look at this house. This thing's ripe for a renovation. It's also Privy preferred. You come down to the comparables, it looks like it's in that same area. So we got
145. What are properties selling for in the area?
well, the closest flipped comp is at 257. So this one's at about 57% of the after repair value.
Nice, nice.
I'm gonna share this one with a group too.
Guys, are you seeing how easy this is? I mean, if you're not, go back and watch this recording and make sure that you watch it, because this is, I'm telling you, this is amazing. Someone said Privy sounds amazing. You're absolutely 100% right. It is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. If you want to win this year, guys, you need tools to win. You don't go build a house with your hands and a screwdriver. You need more tools. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need some measuring tools. You're going to need the tools that make you, that help separate you from the others. Everyone's out here building houses. And what we're finding also is that a lot of those houses were built poorly and they're built crappy, and people are now seeing it. So having the right tools, by knowing what's in the community, knowing what's in the area, will help you, prevent you from making those same mistakes, guys. So I'm just giving you examples of how you make mistakes without using the right tools. Privy is the only tool you guys need doing our business, finding and comping properties. Buyers, finding your buyers. We've showed all of it to you right here.
Yep. And we get into, we do some trainings. I'm going to show you guys in a minute here how you can get access to Privy. But we've got a ton of training on how to do exactly what I'm showing you. We got on-demand videos. We do live training. We are recording this, so I will send out the recording tomorrow morning after I edit it this evening. But look at this deal. 134,000. The closest sold fix and flip went for $400,000. So this property at asking price is at 34% of the ARV. Like ridiculous, ridiculously low. Like it's half as much as in some areas where people are buying properties at 70% of the ARV. This is crazy.
Crazy stuff. Hey, Benson, I saw a question pop up a couple of times, and so I wanted you to give you an opportunity to address it. Actually, it came up a few times. Can this be used for land and lots as well?
No, not currently. We're not currently doing land. We've got the data. We're just not running algorithms against it. It's probably something we'll do later on this year. But you know, there so few people do land that we're not investing any of our resources in that right now.
Makes sense.
So last thing about Privy, you guys, just, and then we'll start to wrap up here. We got, you know, a bunch of cool ways of actually organizing your deal flow with lists. So you can export lists. Again, we give you 10,000 per month, but we got a cool feature here where you can upload lists. So let's say you get a list, like in Colorado, you can download foreclosures for free right from the county websites. You can download probates, you can do code violations. And if you wanted to say analyze, you know, 500 properties, you could literally just upload that right in here to Privy, and Privy will go in, it'll pull comparables on all those properties, build a comparative market analysis. It will append all of the public record data, like the owner information, mortgage information, deed data, if the house is in foreclosure, if it's listed, what price is it listed at it, if it's sold, it'll tell you the last time it's sold. All of that gets added right on top of it. And then you can export it into a CSV file with all that data there for you, maybe put into your CRM or whatever it is you're going to go do with it next. But this is really powerful because you're able to analyze hundreds or even thousands of properties in seconds, no matter where you find them with Privy.
Nice.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and kind of wrap up here. And we'll get you guys off because it is getting late on the East Coast. And I know we got some people over there as well.
And guys, cool. I want you to know that my enthusiasm is 100% genuine. I'm not a paid spokesman or nothing. Yeah, Benson's my brother. He's my friend and everything. But guys, I want you to grasp this so that you can go out and utilize it. What we want to see is having others see the same success that we have utilized it, used and gotten, and others around the country. Why not you guys be one of those next success stories?
100%. Now there already are some Privy users here. So you guys, this is the time when I start talking about, you know, giving people an opportunity. So if you're a Privy user, you can stick around, but you don't need to. The next training for Privy is actually tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern. So the links to get that are in the Learning Center. feel free to join us and ask any more questions. But for those of you that don't have Privy, let me show you real quickly how you can get access to it, okay? So essentially what we're doing is we're optimizing all of your time. Privy is like having a team of virtual assistants going through and doing all the tedious tasks for you. Running comparables, searching for deals, tracking markets, running the comps and building that comparative market analysis. It really helps you optimize and focus in on money-making activity like writing offers, negotiating deals, talking with agents, building your buyers list. Like those are the things you should be spending your time on, not administrative tasks. It's going to help you minimize your risk because you're getting access to the best data that's available. Because in a business where dollars matter, if you're 5% off on your value because you're using Zillow or some random website online, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to offer too low, or you're going to pass up on a property that it would make you money because you're using big buffers on either side so that you don't have to really know and understand your numbers. That's what most people do, is they get really conservative with lowball offers because they don't want to make a mistake. With Privy, you can really zero in and be laser focused and get the right numbers and values because, again, most of the markets, we've got this direct to MLS data, which is the best that's available. So you can minimize your risk. You're going to save tons of time. And ultimately, you guys, what comes out of this is confidence. Like you start to get confident in your ability to know that you're targeting the right areas. You know what a deal is because you spent an afternoon looking at all the closed deals. You've talked to investor focused agents, you've talked to your buyers, all that adds up to confidence. And pretty soon you'll be able to look at a property and be like, that's a deal. Because that's just like the house down the street on Main Street that closed, last week. They sold it for 200,000. I can buy this one for 95,000. That's a deal. That's what happens. So let me show you the next piece here. So basically, who is this for? Well, as I told you before, we're exit strategy agnostic. If you're doing fix and flip, wholesale, buy and hold, short-term rental, long-term rental, don't do land. So it's not for everyone. We're also not doing commercial. Bonita, yes, it's for you.
Indeed, Bonita, it's for you, Bonita.
If you've never done a deal, that's okay, because we got thousands of users that have done their very first deal using Privy. We got people who are very experienced that are scaling their business, that are doing hundreds of deals using Privy and our data. You're going to be in there somewhere, right? So if you are newer, we're going to help you get up to speed quicker and faster than ever before. It isn't just about the lists and the skip tracing and the cold calling. It's the real estate side of the business. You could be the best marketer in the world and you could have leads just falling in all over the place. But if you don't know how to identify a deal and run comps effectively, you're never going to get a deal because you don't know what a deal looks like. That's what we teach you. Okay. All experience levels, all different exit strategies. So just a couple people here that are doing amazing things. This is Michelle Garabito. She is one of our power users. She actually texted me, and I want to show you the text because I took a screenshot of it. She's doing stuff in Colorado, and she texted me, and she's like, Benson, today we closed our largest assignment fee deal ever, a deal they found on Privy. It was a $30,000 assignment fee that they got. It was 549 South Bear Paw Lane in Colorado Springs. They used the algorithm. They did the process that I showed you. A deal popped up. They made 30K. 30K.
Nice.
So Michelle and her partner Paul, right now, they actually are traveling the world doing what I'm showing you now, 100% virtually. All virtual, all on-market deals. They don't spend any money on marketing. There's a really good video on our YouTube channel, you guys, where they explain their process. They're killing it. This is Christian. Now, Christian's a real estate agent, but he's also an investor. He's using Privy in the Chicago market. He's closed over 350 deals that he found on Privy. 350. Now, he's really experienced. He's been in the business for 25 years. He's got people, he's got people who find the deals, his acquisition people. He's got people who find the buyers and sell them. Those are his disposition people on his team. But what it explains is that you can scale this. You're going to get to a point where there's only so many hours in the day. And maybe you get to a point where you can close 3 deals a month on your own. right? Absolutely possible. But if you want to scale to the next level, that's when you start to put more systems in place. You bring on people to help you, and you start to delegate more of those responsibilities, and then you can go from 3 to 5 to 15 deals a month, like John and Galan and Mahmoud. 15 deals in last month.
Mhm.
They've just hired some VAs, and they're scaling their business too. It's absolutely possible. You just got to use the reverse REI strategy.
100%.
All right, cool. So Privy right now, if you wanted to go sign up and get it for a year, it's $1,164. But I put together some better pricing for you and some other bonuses to make this process for you way more simple. And let me kind of explain that for you, the bundle. So the very first thing is we just hired a brand new VP of Ops, and my business partner Scott and her and one of our product managers is now looking at how they're going to change the pricing strategy for Privy. Right now, if you sign up for Privy, you get the entire United States, all of the things I showed you tonight for one cost. They're going to be figuring out a way to tier it out. So like if you get one market, it's going to be a certain amount. If you get 3 markets, it's going to be another amount. If you get the whole US, it's going to be another amount. So if you decide to come on board, we're going to grandfather you in at the price I'm going to show you tonight, and you're going to get free feature upgrades in all the new MLS markets for no additional cost. Okay, I'm going to give you that for free. The next thing is support. So we don't just give you this product and then disappear into the night. Like, we've been around for close to a decade. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to continue to get better and better and better. So I created the 360-degree onboarding support package where, first off, you get access to our live mastermind sessions. So we do those twice per week, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, and also 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. You get ongoing support, training classes. You can actually call and talk to somebody. We don't force you into a Facebook chat or, some, learning center that is just a deep, dark hole. You can talk to people. Okay. We give you that for free too. If you are wholesaling, and I showed you the best way to build a strategic buyers list tonight, it's through the data and when based off of people that are doing deals right now. However, I've been building a buyers list for over 8 years, and it's over 5,000 people now. It's already pre-skip trace, and it's all segmented by state, emails, phone numbers, names. This by itself is probably worth a few $1,000. I'm going to give you that for free so that there's no excuses on taking action. A lot of people are like, oh, I need to build my buyers list first. And yes, you should build your buyers list first if you're wholesaling, but I don't want that to be a hindrance to you. I'm going to get you started with this one, and then you can start to add on your new people that you build from Privy. All right. For those of you that want to do fix and flip, it's a great strategy. However, the time to go and learn how to do that is not once you've got a deal under contract. It's now. So a friend of mine, Roddy Garcilazo, he's out of the Chicago market. He is an expert contractor. He flips his own stuff. He's flipped properties for his clients. They actually have an academy where they teach people how to do that. And he put together this amazing book, which is basically A to Z on how to do a whole renovation project. I'm going to give you this for free too. All right, cool. So let me just kind of break this down for you. So I've got some other bonuses I'm going to give you. We actually have built a private money lender list. It's got over 400 people on it. We've got a hedge fund list that we've built. It's got over 400 hedge funds on it, and the rehab guidebook. All of that for $930 for the whole year. So that's the 30. It comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. There's absolutely no risk. You can come to the trainings. You can take part and ask questions. You get all the free training here, the bonuses. $930 for the entire year.
Gosh,
okay?
You can't beat it. Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
Now we do have Privy for $97 a month to month, so you can actually take advantage of that too. We will give you a 20% discount on your first month, and then after that it's $97 per month. It doesn't come with any of these bonuses. I do give you a deal analysis calculator. It's a spreadsheet where you can actually go in and put some numbers in there, and I'll help you figure out what your offer should be. However, if you're an existing user, you're just going to use the promo code that I'm going to give you right now. going to give you the promo code. So this is a 48-hour special. If you are a current Privy user, just go in and put the promo code in the billing section, Jan 2023, and that will upgrade you to this plan. And you can take advantage of all the additional bonuses. And if you're going to go with the monthly plan, then you put this in there and it'll take 20% off of your first month. And then at that point, it'll be $97 per month after that. So I encourage everybody to take action. 48-hour special. I did record this. I'm going to get that edited and sent out tonight. And we'll make sure everybody can, take the time. 48 hours is plenty of time. Talk to your significant other, talk to your business partner, get on board. This is going to be one of the best investments you've made into your business. And, if you're an action taker like Michelle, you could easily find a deal just like this that she found in Colorado Springs. Or you could do what Mahmoud's doing and what John Galan's doing in Tampa, $600,000 in assignment fees in the last 12 months. Richika, she's one of our power users in Houston. She got her very first deal in Privy in 2 weeks. And in her first 5 or 6 months, she did over $150,000 in assignment fees, doing the exact same thing that I'm showing you tonight. So here's the contact info, support@teamprivy.com. Let me grab the links for you so you guys can go and get signed up. However, Shaun, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or things that you think people should be focused on when thinking about, moving forward with their business?
Absolutely, guys. What you want to focus on is not the results up front, because that'll discourage you. If you're just going to look at, I need a deal, that'll discourage you guys. What you want to focus on is being consistent. Consistency will build momentum, and then momentum will build the results that you're looking for. So do it in that order, guys. Be consistent. That'll get you that momentum, guys. That'll get you your results. Go out here and take action today. Don't wait for this to happen. Don't look up in March or April and say, hey, I remember that great session I had with Benson and Shaun. I think I want to look into that now. Like Benson said, guys, the time is now. The time is always now. Don't wait until tomorrow to do what you can do today.